Hey guys, MetalDriver89 here, bringing you another WWE Elite review. And today I'll be looking at Series 77, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. So looking at the front of the box, we see the SummerSlam logo. The sides of the box feature an image of Bray Wyatt as The Fiend on both sides. The back of the box features an image of The Fiend, stats, career highlights, a description of this figure, and the rest of the figures that are in this wave. Stats include weight 285 pounds, height 6 feet 3 inches. Career highlights include Universal Champion, WWE Champion, and Raw Tag Team Champion. The description states, when Finn Balor challenged The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, to a match at SummerSlam 2019, he found out how dangerous it is to let him in. Alright, now that we have looked at the box, let's go ahead and open this figure up and take a closer look at The Fiend. Alright, and here we have The Fiend out of the packaging. But first, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So he comes with a pair of open hands and gripped hands. The right gloves features the word hurt, while the left gloves features the word heal. Now the lettering on the open hands on hurt kinda looks a little sloppy, which is disappointing. However, the lettering on the gripped hands look much better. And then he also comes with his entrance lantern, which looks very impressive. I mean, this is just a grotesque piece of accessory to begin with, but I absolutely love it. It works perfectly with his character. It's got a lot of sculpt work on the hair. The handle mimics the hair. And then it looks like there's a bit of mist paint on the nose. But other than that, it looks pretty well done. So just some solid paint, not a lot of shadowing or anything like that, but I don't think it's really necessary on this piece, especially for an elite figure. It looks really good. And there's a look at the bottom. Alright, and now taking a look at the head sculpt. So this is obviously brand new, considering this is the first time we are getting The Fiend as an action figure. And the mask looks really amazing. So I think it looks just like his actual mask. And honestly, this is one of my favorite masks in all of wrestling. I think this is a really good one. Definitely probably one of the better ones in a long time. The detailing on the mask looks really good. The paint came out very well. And even if there are a few paints or imperfections, that actually works well with the Fiend character, because the mask isn't this perfect looking mask. It's got a lot of paint bleeding, some blending of the colors, so that looks really good. And then looking at the hair, it's got his dreadlocks, which looks pretty well done. Pretty much seems to be a solid paint. Now I do see other colors seeping through. I don't know if that's just paint fading or not enough paint applied, or if it's supposed to be done intentionally. And then you can pull up the dreads over here to see this side of the mask, so that looks really good. So it's a nice soft plastic, so it looks like it doesn't hinder any articulation on the head. Teeth look really good. Nice paint detailing in there. Then looking at the torso. So he's got his black tank top. It's just a solid color, so nothing impressive. There is a bit of extra paint here on this side. The back looks okay for the most part. Maybe a little bit of paint bleeding on here. But then looking at the tattoos. Again, this is well done. This looks really good. Mattel usually does a very good job on their elite figures when they have tattoos. The basic figures, they always have their tattoos, but there's not as much paint or color. So here we got some nice colors. We've got some blues, some oranges, some red on his left arm. So really well done. Doesn't look like there are any sloppy parts of the paint on the tattoos. Maybe a little bit on this shoulder here. But other than that, for the most part, it looks really good. I love the detailing on this figure. There's lots of paint on the torso. The gloves look really cool. That turned out well. The mask is fantastic. Clearly the best part of the figure. And then looking at the lower body. So he's got his striped tights, his pants that he wears. It's got the maroon and black stripes. So it looks pretty good for the most part. I don't see any mispaint, anything major or noticeable. The back looks good. This looks a little bit off-center. I'm not sure. I would assume this would be more centered, but not a deal breaker. And then the boots are pretty much a solid black with just a maroon line on the foot. So overall, a really impressive looking figure. It's a great looking Bray Wyatt, and this incarnation of Bray Wyatt as the Fiend looks really good. So I think Mattel has done a really good job on this, especially that head sculpt. Alright, and going over the articulation. His head is on a ball joint, which allows it to go that high up, which isn't too high at all, and that far down, so that's a little better. His head can twist side to side, but it is a little stiff on mine. His head can tilt. Shoulders have a hinge, so it can go that far out. It can rotate all the way around. He has a bicep swivel. a single jointed elbow, which almost gives us 90 degrees. Looks really close. The wrist can swivel and it has a hinge. He has a nab crunch, so it allows him to go that far down, which is pretty good. That far back, which is decent. He has a waist swivel. Ball joint at the hips, which allows the legs to go that far out. That high up, which isn't too high. He has a thigh cut. Double jointed knees. A cut at the boot, which allows for rotation. Hinge at the ankles, which allows it to go that high up, that far down. And there is slight ankle pivot. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the Fiend Bray Wyatt figure? Well, first, I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I thought I had a Bray Wyatt figure to compare it with, but I don't. So this is actually my only Bray Wyatt figure that I have at the moment, and I'm very satisfied with having this in my collection. I am a really big fan of the Fiend. I like the direction of that character, and I think this figure is pretty much a home run for Mattel. There's really not much that I can complain about it. I like how he looks. The head sculpt is spot on. It looks really well done. I love this lantern that he uses for his entrance. The only thing that I could say that we are missing would be an entrance jacket. But other than that, I think this figure is amazing. And I'm willing to believe that we'll probably see an Ultimate Edition version of this figure that'll come with the jacket. So, would I recommend the Fiend figure? Absolutely. I think this is a figure that is a must-have. This is going to be that one figure from Series 77 that everyone is going to want to get their hands on. And in my opinion, this is one of the best Elite figures that we have seen in quite some time. So if you're a fan of the Fiend, if you're a fan of collecting Elite figures, definitely get this for your collection. You will not regret it. So if you like this review, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe so you can see more WWE Elite reviews. As always, stay tuned till the end to see pictures of this figure in action, and I'll see you next time.